Welcome Rebels, today we are diving into the heart of different Kubernetes popular distros, K3s, K0s, and Minikube. We'll explore the installation process of each distro and compare side by side. My name is Adrian from La Rebelión, and I'm thrilled to present you the Kubernetes distros installation process side by side. In the next few minutes, you will enjoy journey through creating Kubernetes clusters using some bash scripts I created for you. Imagine the power of the simplicity at your hands. I decided to use plain bash scripts to remove any additional complexity in installing Ansible, Terraform, Argo, or any other tools and external dependencies like Python or external libraries, which also will remove the fact that consumes resources that you will need for your lab environment. But hey, before we embark into this adventure, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Rebel community for more tech insights. I am excited to share this journey with you. Let's roll it! Let's quickly review how these distros were released to the community. In July 2016, Minikube came into the picture. After that, K0s in December 2018. Months later, it came K3s, February 2019. Almost a year and a half, K0s came into the picture. Okay, this is the script that I have created for you with different options, as you can see, to create VMs as a first step and also to install the different Kubernetes distros. Let's start listing the different VMs that we have at least installed in my local PC. I don't have any VM installed. After that, I can just execute the first option in the script, which is creating VMs for the lab that we are going to work with these Kubernetes distros. Let's wait for those VMs to be created. We have the first K0s instance, which is going to be used as the control plane. Then the instance 2 and 3 are going to be used as worker nodes. The same case for K3s. We are going to use the first instance as a master node and the two other instances as worker nodes. Then K0s, same, 3 instances, 1 master, 2 worker nodes. And finally, 1 Minikube. Minikube doesn't allow you to create worker nodes in different VMs. Everything is handled by Minikube in the same instance. Okay, in the first pass, all the instances that are going to be used as master nodes are ready. Let's wait for the other VMs to be instantiated. Don't worry about this error. I had to release some space to create all the VMs that we are going to need for the experiment, that we are going to need for this lab. Once the VMs are created, I just take the IPs of these different VMs instances and I copy all the IPs in the different instances just to facilitate the test, and then use QDN with the host names instead of IPs. And let's explore what Multipass has now. We have here the information about the instances with all the resources that were allocated for each of the instances. And now let's list the different instances, and you will see here that we have all the VMs created, the IPs for these instances that we are going to work with, and we are ready to start with each of the installation of the different distros. Let me quickly run the step that it failed because I hadn't the sudo included in the command to add the FQDNs of the different instances in the etc host. Let's do that separately here. Okay, after executing the script, you saw that there was an error. You fixed that in the scripts, and let me just quickly run the command to add those instances into the etc host of the different VMs. If I connect to any of these instances with multipass shell, which is similar as doing an SSH, so I connect to the instance and I'm going to check the etc host, and here we have it, all the IPs for the different instances. Okay, now let's go into start to install the K0s cluster, and that is the option 2 in the list. Let's go. After creating the master node, we will need a token that is generated by K0s. So I'm taking that token to be used by every worker node that is installed in the cluster. Let's check now that we have the 3 VMs installed with the K0s. Execute to check the nodes, and here we have it. We have the 3 instances. Let's quickly check with the pods. That's it. We have now the K0s installed. Let's go with the K3s installation option here in the list. For every installation that I had, I'm just generating a log file for you to follow up what is happening. Here we will see that the instance is being installed, and we have the token finally. With that token, similar to K0s, we need to join the worker nodes to the cluster. Okay, now let's review if we have all the nodes in the cluster, and here we have it. Let's go now with the option 4, which is installing the micro K0s cluster. The easiest way that I found, for me at least, to install the micro K0s is using the snap. So in the scripts, I am including the steps to install the snap before installing the micro K0s. After that, you can just execute the installation, and it's quite smooth. Just from my local, I'm going to execute the get nodes command just to see if the 3 instances are in the cluster. And here we have it. Yes. For the option 5, installing Minikube cluster, as I said, we are not, at least I didn't find a way to install a cluster in different VM instances. Everything is just managed by Minikube in the same instance. So I had to create a bigger VM instance with more resources than the other ones. And after that, with multipass allows you to install an instance with Minikube already installed. You just need to create the VM, and everything is going to be installed. And of course, after that, you can just start the Minikube service and just adding the nodes into the same VM instance with Minikube. And with that, you are simulating that you have cluster, but everything is in the same VM. I guess that is the reason of this plenty of resources, different than the other distros that we tested before. Get nodes, and here we have it. We have 3 instances in the cluster. That's it. Let's compare side by side the resources used by these installations. Everything is installing in the same VM, my PC. So let's check this. I'm generating this format to easily check that in a table in Markdown. Let's check it. So here we have comparison side by side of all the instances that we installed with the scripts. Let's review this in a chart just to have more clear view of the differences. Here, the last part in this chart are the bars for Minikube. Of course, the disk space used by Minikube is huge compared to the other ones. And in general, the CPU and memory for all the different distros, K0s, K3s, micro K0s consume almost all the same. The option is yours. You can decide which of these distros you want to use. Minikube, in my experience on this lab, is the easiest to install with multipass because it already provides everything there. You just need to start the service and that's it. But is the most resource hungry distro. It requires a lot of resources, as you saw, probably because it's the oldest of all these instant distros. And maybe the intention was never to be used as IoT or edge environment, which K3s, K0s, and micro K0s they do. As you saw, regarding resources needed by the distros, all these run smoothly with only one CPU, 1 giga of memory, and 5 gigas of this space, which are the minimum required by the multipass instance that we were creating. During the process, I had to increase the memory of the master node for K0s and micro K0s, but that was because probably I'm suspecting that the more VMs I was creating in the PC, the more resources were used by the PC, and I have plenty of browser tabs open and applications running in the background. I didn't remove anything just to be focused 100% on this. Maybe that is the reason. You can just give it a try as well from your end. K0s, based on this experiment, is the easiest to install. It was faster for me to install that distro flavor. In the other side, K3s was the most difficult to install. I had to tweak different things in the process. And I'm not convinced at all that the final installation I did on the worker nodes was the right one. I have to do some steps manually because the scripts that the vendor provides didn't work for, at least for the worker nodes. And even there is a parameter that you need to pass in the installation to specify that the worker nodes are going to be agents, as they call. But that was not working. I had to do some manual steps. I provide those in the scripts already, but I have to do that manually. So K3s was the most difficult of these distros. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the process. I will let you do the homework to compare the performance of the distros. I'm not going to do that. Maybe if some people ask me to do that experimentation, I can do, but for now, just give it a try on your end. And if you do that, please share your results with me and with the community.